Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to discuss a masterpiece that is not just a play but an epic love story as well. Abhijanashakuntalam, the recognition of Shakuntala. For your convenience, this video is also available in Hindi. Now let us begin. First, let us understand the basics of this text. Abhijanashakuntalam means the recognition of Shakuntala. The word Abhigyan means recognition or recollection, and this idea forms the heart and soul of the entire story. The play was written by Kalidasa, one of the greatest poets and dramatists of ancient India. Scholars generally believe that he composed it during the 4th or 5th century CE in the golden age of the Gupta Empire. The drama consists of 7 acts and a prologue, creating a complete theatrical experience. It was written in Sanskrit with noble characters speaking Sanskrit and women and common characters speaking Prakrit. Although the story is based on an episode from the Mahabharata, Kalidas transformed it into a more poetic, emotional and sophisticated work. It was also the first major Indian literary work to be translated into European languages. During the 18th and 19th century, translations into German and English introduced Kalidasa's genius to readers across the world. Prologue. The play begins with a benediction that praises the 8 manifestations of Shiva: fire, water, earth, air, sky, the sun, the moon and the creative force of the universe. An actor manager then appears and his actress wife appear on stage. This serves as a meta theatrical device, a play within a play. The actress sings a beautiful summer song that prepares the audience for the mood of the drama. The actor manager announces, "Tonight we perform Kalidasa's new romance, the recognition of Shakuntala." Immediately afterward, the scene shifts to a king chasing a deer through the forest. Act 1. King Dushyant is hunting in the forest when he arrives at the hermitage of sage Kanva. There he sees 3 young women, Shakuntala, Anasuya and Priyamvada, watering the plants. Hidden from view, the king observes Shakuntala and instantly falls in love with her beauty and grace. One of Kalidasa's most poetic touch appears here. The king watches a bee hovering near Shakuntala and becomes jealous of the insect. The king learns that Shakuntala is the daughter of the celestial nymph Menka and the sage Vishwamitra. Because of her royal lineage, she is eligible to marry a Kshatriya king. The act ends with the first seeds of love being planted. Act 2. The king's companion Vidushka enters the story. He is a humorous Brahmin and serves as comic relief. Dushyant confesses his love for Shakuntala. A royal message arrives summoning him to undertake a mission against demons, but he wishes to remain near Shakuntala. The act ends with the king caught between duty and desire. Act 3. This is the most romantic act of the play. Shakuntala becomes lovesick and her friends quickly recognize the reason. Hidden nearby, Dushyant overhears their conversation. The king reveals himself and the two are united in a Gandharva marriage, a marriage based on mutual consent and witnessed only by nature. At this point, tragedy enters the story. The irascible sage, Durvasa, arrives at the hermitage. Lost in thoughts of Dushyant, Shakuntala fails to greet him properly. Angered, Durvasa pronounces a curse. "The man you are thinking about will forget you." After being persuaded by Shakuntala's friends, he softens the curse. The forgotten memories can return if the king sees a token given by him. Fortunately, Dushyant has given Shakuntala a ring as a symbol of their marriage. That ring becomes the key to the entire play, but Shakuntala does not know about this curse. Act 4. Sage Kanva returns and learns about Shakuntala's marriage. As a loving foster father, he blesses the union and allows her to travel to the royal palace. This act is filled with poetic beauty. The trees seem to bid her farewell, a heavenly voice blesses her journey, and a young fawn she has raised tries to stop her from leaving by tugging at her garment. Kanva advises her to honor her husband, be friendly toward co-wives, and treat servants with kindness and humility. As Shakuntala departs with tears in her eyes, her friends repeatedly remind her to show the king the ring. They know about Durvasa's curse, but Shakuntala does not. Act 5. This is the darkest act of the play. Shakuntala arrives at the royal court, but because of the curse, Dushyant does not recognize her. He publicly rejects her. Devastated, Shakuntala attempts to present the ring, only to discover that it has been lost, probably dropped into a river during her journey. Without proof, nobody believes her story. At this moment, her celestial mother Menka carries her away to the heavenly realm. Although the king feels uneasy and troubled, he still cannot remember her. Kalidas presents this episode with extraordinary emotional intensity. Act 6. After a long period of time, the missing ring is discovered. A fisherman finds it inside a fish and brings it to the king. The moment Dushyant sees the ring, all his memories return. Overwhelmed with grief and regret, He remembers Shakuntala and mourns his actions. He even paints her portrait and becomes consumed by sorrow. At this point, Matali, the charioteer of Indra, arrives and takes the king on a divine mission to assist in the battle against demons. The act highlights the king's remorse and helplessness. Act 7. After completing his celestial duties, Dushyant arrives at the hermitage of Maharishi Marika in a heavenly realm. There he encounters a fearless young boy playing with a lion cub. The king feels an immediate connection to the child. When an amulet falls to the ground, Dushyant picks it up. Everyone is astonished because the magical amulet can only be touched safely by the boy's parents. Anyone else would have been attacked by a serpent. Then Shakuntala enters. At first, she scarcely recognizes Dushyant because years of grief have transformed him. Eventually, they recognize one another and reunite. Although Shakuntala remains deeply hurt by her public humiliation, Maharishi Marika explains that the king's rejection was not intentional but the result of Durvasa's curse. The young boy is Sarvadaman, who later becomes famous as Bharat, the legendary emperor after whom India is traditionally said to be named. The family is reunited and cosmic harmony is restored. Now let us take a look at the major characters of this play. First is Dushyant, then Shakuntala, Sage Kanva, Anusuya, Priyamvada, Vidushka, Durvas, Gautami, Matali, Sarvadaman or Bharata, and then Maharishi Marika. Some of the major themes of this play are: first, love and memory; second, curse and destiny; third, nature as a living presence; fourth, duty versus desire; fifth, identity and recognition. Abhijanashakuntalam was written nearly 16 centuries ago, yet it remains remarkably relevant today. It is a story of love, separation, memory, suffering, forgiveness, and reunion. More than a romantic tale, it reflects the philosophical and emotional depth of an entire civilization. If you have not yet read this play, it is well worth exploring. It remains one of the greatest achievements of classical Sanskrit literature and a timeless masterpiece of world drama. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, kindly like the video and please share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel, and for your convenience, this video is also available in Hindi for you to check out. Thank you very much. We'll see you again in the next one.